a risk when it rains this much, and for those with basements, that risk can be a costly one.
That is for sure. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dennis Valera is live in Meriden. And Dennis, what are you seeing where you are?
It hasn't been too bad, Stephanie and Aaron. You know, this pooling right here on the road, that's the worst we've seen. We haven't seen any massive flooding, no basements, no nothing being too wet. And we're in a pretty flood-prone neighborhood. Now, today's rain really serving as a reminder that we can take steps to mitigate flood damage in our homes because, you know, as you all were saying, the cost to repair, that can quickly add up. Not to mention there are scammers out there trying to take advantage of you. Harbor Brook in Meriden flowing faster and higher. In the neighborhood next to it, pools of water collected on the road. A lot of it right into the drains, but neighbors here remember the damage from Elsa last year. Some basements turning into giant bathtubs. Tom Homola is the CEO of BioClean. One of their specialties is cleaning up flooded basements. He says one way to keep the water out, tending to your home's gutters.
You need your gutters cleaned, okay? Got to have those gutters cleaned, especially if you're around a lot of trees. You should have them cleaned twice a year.
But if your basement does get flooded, he says you should first figure out how the water got in.
If it's a drain that's clogged outside of your basement and that's clogged up, maybe there's some leaves, you can clean that off. Maybe the sump pump is not plugged in and not functioning.
Then call someone for help. But the Better Business Bureau warns someone may offer to help posing as a contractor. You should be concerned if someone shows up unsolicited.
If they say, oh, I was working on the neighbor down the street's house, I have some leftover material, that is a big red flag. You should pause, stop and say, okay, I'll take your information, and then call that neighbor down the street. Did they do work?
They then may ask to get paid in full, up front. That's another big sign. They're probably just trying to scam you.
What you want to do is get everything in writing. So it's in a contract and it says, at this point in the project, I will pay this much. Usually they will ask for a down payment. BBB recommends about a third of the total scope of the project.
The BBB recommends researching as the one way to find a reputable contractor. Also, they do have a scam tracker online where you can see if a scammer has had multiple victims, or you can use it to report a scammer yourself. A link to it will be on the Channel 3 app. We're live in Meriden. Dennis Valera, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.